Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is I, your host, Captain Boring. Thank you for being here. It is Tuesday. It is the 26th of March. It is 2024. I apologize not getting this episode to y'all sooner. Got home last night, decided to do an impromptu dinner date with the wife, and so here we are, Tuesday. I am going to jump right into some Madden after that, so be sure to go follow me on Twitch at Captain Boring, at Captain Boring 11, and go ahead and hit that, turn notifications on and hit that subscribe button on Twitch, and then whenever I pop on, you'll be able to pop on soon as well. I am excited. In my next try new things phase of 2024, I'm going to jump more into streaming, and I'm going to upgrade my computer software and all of that so that I can stream kind of better. Because I am really enjoying it. I do know I am talking to no one half of the time, but talking to no one is still a whole lot better than talking to a whole bunch of people who hate you. That's how I look at it, and I've had no problem talking to myself. You can ask my parents out in the backyard playing by myself, commentating the whole game, multiple people, multiple personalities. Do I have multiple personality disorder? I don't know. Let's get started with some basketball and jump right in. So on Thursday, the NCAA tournament started for the men's, and it started with the number one seed, North Carolina, or one of the number one seeds, taking down Wagner 90-62. Arizona took care of Long Beach State 85-65. St. Peter's, a year after upsetting number 2 Kentucky and going on one of the greatest runs ever, all the way till the Elite Eight, lost in the first round, again as a 15 seed, to the number 2 seed, Tennessee, 83-49. So no Cinderella story there. However, one upset that did take place, or two upsets, or a 2-11 seed, number 11 seed Duquesne upset number 6 BYU 71-67. Number 11 Oregon upset these are seeds, number 6 South Carolina 87-73. And yet another 11 seed upset a 6 seed as North Carolina State beat Texas Tech 80-67. If we scroll down to the bottom of the page, the 9th seed Michigan State beat the number 8 seed Mississippi State 69-51 to advance to the round of 62. On Saturday, which is day 2 of the first round of the NCAA tournament, the 3 number 1 seeds, UConn, Purdue, and Houston, they all won in convincing fashion. Marquette beat Western Kentucky. That was a 2-15 seed as well. The number 13 seed Yale went into Auburn, as in the neutral court that they played, the number 4 seed, and beat them 78-76. Duke took care of Vermont, 64-47. JMU down 19 points with 19 points with 8 minutes to go in the second half, rallied to beat Wisconsin 72-61. Grand Canyon took care of St. Mary's 75-66. That was a 12 seed beating a 5 seed as well. Colorado, in the highest scoring game of the tournament so far, beat number 7 Florida. That's a 10 seed beating a 7 seed 102-100. And then in one of the games of the day, in overtime, the 9th seed Northwestern Wildcats beat the number 8 seed Florida Atlantic 77-65. Then day 2, so this is the round of 32. Winners go to the Sweet 16. Number 1, North Carolina took care of number 9, Michigan State. Number 2, Arizona took care of number 7, Dayton. Number 2, Iowa State took care of number 7, Washington State. Number 2, Tennessee took care of number 7, Texas. Duquesne had a nice run as an 11 seed, won a game, but then ran into Illinois 89-63. The number 11 seed, Oregon Ducks, ran into a problem, and number 3 seeded Creighton in double overtime. Creighton pulled away 86-73. It was a lot closer than that. Number 5 seed Gonzaga just took it to number 4 seed Kansas, 89-68. Oakland then had an upset of Kentucky in round 1. I did not get to them. I apologize. Ran into NC State in overtime, 79-73. There. And that was day 1. So all of those winners advanced to the Sweet 16, on Sunday. The number 1 seed Purdue beat Utah State 106-67. The number 1 overall seed UConn beat Northwestern 75-58. Houston in overtime took care of Texas A&M 100-95. So all the number 1 seeds are still alive. The number 2 seed Marquette took care of Colorado 81-77. Clemson upset Baylor. Ladies and gentlemen, I watched none of March Madness on Saturday, so this is shocking news to me. The number 6 seed Clemson Tigers took care of the Baylor Bears, the number 3 seed 72-64. James Madison, the 12 seed, their run ends. They ran into Duke 93-55. Grand Canyon went to Alabama, or the second region neutral court, and Alabama took care of business 72-61, and Yale ran into San Diego State, and so they are stopped cold. So it appears that the highest seed in the Sweet 16 are, well, it would be your typical 4-5. So, because Oregon lost, I thought Oregon was going to advance. Yeah. So, really, no double-digit seed in the Sweet 16 this year, which is very, very abnormal. The NFL owners have approved a massive revamp of the new kickoff. It will follow very similar to the XFL, which is they put both the teams, so where the person kicks off is on one side of the field. On the other side of the field, they put both the teams 5 yards apart in a line, and then it's the kickoff return man behind those two lines. So it's the two teams facing each other, the kicker way back here, which will kick the ball, and then behind the two lines is the kickoff returner. No one is allowed to move until the kick returner catches the ball. They're trying to bring excitement back to kickoffs, but at the same time reduce injuries. I'm a fan of just get rid of the kickoff, because if it was, yes, one kickoff gets returned for a touchdown every week in the NFL, let's keep it in. But it's like one kickoff gets returned for a touchdown every year in the NFL. So maybe they're trying to fix that. I don't know. But I'm okay if they get rid of the kickoff altogether. I know Pat McAfee and all the kickers and punters out there hate me now. Another thing that should be noted is that the NFL also banned hip drop tackles, which is they're not allowed to hit high anymore, head or neck area. They're not allowed to hit low anymore, ACLs, ankles, right? So they're stuck with the midsection, which is fine. So what guys basically do is hug the midsection and then just kick their feet out from under them and fall on the opponent's legs. Well, that's causing injuries now to the ankle. So soon, they're just not going to be able to tackle at all. Can't go high, can't go low, can't wrap someone around the waist and fall on top of them. This is football, ladies and gentlemen. I understand head, neck area, CTE, brain injury, neck injury, paralyzation, get all that. ACLs, sure, but it was one time with Tom Brady. You have more problems with Achilles. Okay, I get that, but at the same time, you're starting to lose me. And then finally, you're banning the midsection. What are we doing? Well, what they are doing is they're going to play on Christmas Day because everyone watches on Christmas Day. However, Christmas falls on a Wednesday this year, but they don't care. They're just going to roll right along and play 2 games on Christmas Day, despite it falling on a Wednesday. So they're going to they played 3 Christmas Day games this past year. They will play 2 Christmas Day games in 2024. So whatever keeps the money flowing, that's all that they care about. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are under 3 weeks to play in the NBA and NHL season. I am at 10 minutes, so I will try to speed things along, get you all caught up, and then ready to go. Friday, 22nd, March Madness is going. NBA kind of gets put in the background, so you can have sleepy upsets and sleepy results that no one talks about. Like, for example, the Boston Celtics absolutely crushing the Detroit Pistons. Just kidding. That's not sleepy. That's not an upset. 129-102. Boston keeps rolling right along. Philadelphia went to the Lakers in Los Angeles and lost. What else is new? 101-94. The Clippers went to Portland and got a dub, 125-117. Indiana went to Golden State and came away with the upset win, 123-111. Cleveland went to Minnesota, the number 1 seed out west, or number 2 seed, and took an L, 104-94. On Saturday, Brooklyn visited New York, the Knicks. They're both in New York. 105-93. Sacramento visited Orlando. Yes, last year, 2 bottom feeders. Now, they're like the 4th and the 6th seed in East and West, respectively. Sacramento, in this case, got the dub, 109-107. Boston went to Chicago and keeps rolling right along. Their streak has got to be like a 10 now, 124-113. Phoenix went to San Antonio and got a dub, 131-106. Denver went to Portland and stays hot, 114-111 victories there. Sunday, Philadelphia went to the Clippers and got a dub again. They're hot and cold right now. These Philadelphia 76ers behind 24 points from Tobias Harris, 121-107 victory there. Cleveland went to Miami and took a 40-point L, 121-84. Oklahoma City went to Milwaukee and took an L. So that's the 1 seed out west going to the 2 seed in the East and taking an L, 118-93. Golden State visited the top 3 seed Minnesota Timberwolves. Again, I don't know where they're ranked. And they took an L, 114-110. Anthony Edwards is an up-and-coming superstar. In one of the highest-scoring regular season games of all time, the Indiana Pacers went to the LA Lakers and lost by 5, 150-145. On Monday night, so just last night, Charlotte went to Cleveland. Cleveland finally got back on its winning ways, 115-92. Boston visited Atlanta and snapped whatever winning streak that Boston has, 120-118. Phoenix went to San Antonio and lost in a surprising fashion. This is what I'm talking about. San Antonio, the worst team in the Western Conference, 104-102 victors there. Memphis went to Denver. Denver is hot, 128-103. Philadelphia went to Sacramento, continued their West Coast trip, and it's up and down. This time in the down category, 108-96. The Pacers visited Los Angeles. They just stayed in the same building, really, because they share a building. This time, they came away with the dub, 133-116. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, let's take a look at the standings. So, Boston was 9-0 in their last 10 games, and then they took that L. However, they're still 10.5 ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks. 13 back are the Cleveland Cavaliers. 13.5 are the New York Knicks. That's the 4 seed. The 5 seed Orlando Magic, that's a surprise. 14.5 back. Indiana Pacers, 16.5. That's the 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10. 17, 8, 18, 23, and 24.5. The East is not doing very, very well. Eliminated from the playoffs, Charlotte Hornets, Washington Wizards, Detroit Pistons, Eastern Conference. There's a new leader in the clubhouse out west, and it is the red-hot Denver Nuggets, who are 9-1 in their last 10 games. On a 4-game winning streak, they now sit a 1 full game ahead of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 7-3 in their last 10 and lost their last time out. 1.5 games back are the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then you get some separation from 1.5 games back of first place to 6.5 games back of first place sit the New Orleans Pelicans and the Los Angeles Clippers. Sacramento King, who had those 2 wins out west, and then Philadelphia came to town, sit 8.5 games back in the 6th seed, along with the Dallas Mavericks, who sit 8.5 back, who are the 7th seed. The Phoenix Suns, who are 6-4 in their last 10, sit 9 back. The Lakers sit 11.5 back. 14 games back sit the Golden State Warriors, who are on a 2-game losing streak, 4-6 in their last 10, and now a half game away from missing the playoffs. Why, you might add? Because the Houston Rockets are red hot. They're the hottest team in the NBA. At 36-35, you can lick your finger and touch your booty and hear that sizzle with the Houston Rockets. 9-game winning streak, 9-1 in their last 10 games, 14.5 back of first, but a half game back of the 10th seed, which is the play-in. Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trailblazers, San Antonio Spurs, all eliminated from NBA playoff contention. The Denver Nuggets, hot. Houston, hot. Golden State might miss out on the playoffs, which would be crazy sauce. So stay tuned right here, and I'm going to get you everything you need down the stretch of the NBA playoffs. Let's just flip it right around, because there's another league headed straight for the playoff train station, and that would be the NHL. And the NHL is rolling right along, specifically the Colorado Avalanche. They went into the trade deadline, and Stan Kroenke walked into that GM's office and said, championships, championships, championships. We get championships or everyone is fired. I'm just assuming that's how that conversation went, because they made move after move after move, and it has worked. Friday night, Columbus came to town 6-1. They just handed Columbus that L and let them walk right out. Seattle still technically in the playoff race, gets a big L in OT, so they still get a point. Seattle loses to Arizona 2-1 in overtime. Carolina went to Washington in a shootout 7-6. Losers there. That's big for Washington as well. Pittsburgh visited Dallas, and Dallas got a 4-2 win, and you'll see why that's huge. Saturday, the Jets went to the Islanders and took a big L this late in the season. 6-3, the Islanders winners there. Boston went into Philadelphia. Philadelphia is tough at home. Every time Philadelphia faces a top team at home, they seem to win. 3-2 in this case. The Oilers, one of the top teams out west, took on one of the top teams in the East, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they got it handed to them. 6-3, the Maple Leafs are winners there. Columbus then went to Vegas after coming off an L from Colorado and took another L on the road in Vegas, 4-2. The Tampa Bay Lightning visited Los Angeles, and it did not go well. 4-3 in overtime. Ottawa took on New Jersey in New Jersey and got a dub, 5-2. Florida visited the Rangers, 2 top teams of the East, 2 teams, I believe, in the same division, and in this case, it went the way of the Rangers in a shootout, 4-3. On Sunday, Pittsburgh visited Colorado. Colorado stays hot, and they be staying hot. They needed overtime to get it done against Pittsburgh, but they got it done against Pittsburgh, 5-4. Winnipeg went to Washington and took an L. So Washington creeping up closer to that wild card, 3-0 over Edmonton. Over Winnipeg. Edmonton went to Ottawa and took an L, which is big time, and you'll see why. when we get to the standings, 5-3. Florida went to Philadelphia. Philadelphia's luck ran out against Boston because Florida handed it to them 4-1. Tampa Bay visited Anaheim, got a 3-2 victory in overtime there as well. Dallas went to Arizona and got a 4-2 win, so Dallas is hot. Toronto went to Carolina and took another L, so those are two back-to-back L's that that Toronto has taken that is very huge in the standings. Last night, Vegas visited St. Louis and came away with a 2-1 overtime dub. Los Angeles visited Vancouver and got a dub 3-2. So let's go to the standings because that's where all the magic happens. Things are so hot right now down the stretch, and I love it. Florida. So in the Eastern Conference, Florida leads the way. Well, ties to lead the way. They're 5-4 in the last 10. 5-4-1, I should say. 97 points. They're tied with the Boston Bruins at the top at 97. Then the Toronto Maple Leafs are in third with 89. Tampa Bay Lightning right behind them with 85. New York Rangers, I thought they were in the same division. I apologize. The Panthers and the Rangers. Well, the Rangers lead the Metropolitan 98 points. They lead by 1 point over the Carolina Hurricane, who are hot, 8-1-1 in their last 10, 97 points. And then the Flyers are all the way back at lowly 81 points, and the Capitals have 79. We'll get to the wild card standings in un moment. Columbus Blue Jackets officially eliminated from the playoffs. Western Conference Central, the Colorado Avs 9-1-0, 9-game winning streak, hot. Dallas Stars trying to keep pace. They're 8-2-0, 4-game winning streak. They both have 97 points. They are both hot, so it's tied at the top. Then, in third, the Winnipeg Jets, 93 points right there, 3-game skid. So that is not great news for the Winnipeg Jets, coming at the very wrong time, because right behind them, 88 points on an 8-0-2 run, 5-game winning streak, are the Nashville Predators. In the Pacific, the Vancouver Canucks, yes, they lost their last time out, but they are hot. 98 points, 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. Edmonton Oilers now are in second in the Pacific with 88. Los Angeles Kings with 87. Vegas Golden Knights with 85. Anaheim Ducks and the San Jose Sharks have all been eliminated from the playoffs. And finally, if we look at the wild card, the Tampa Bay Lightning sit in that first position out in the East, 85 points. 79 points sit the Washington Capitals, 78 sit the Detroit Red Wings, and 75 sit the Islanders. Lot of battling and jostling still yet to be had in the Western Conference. Nashville Predators have 88, Golden Knights have 85, and then there's some breathing room, but not much. 80 points sit the Blues, 77 sit the Wild. So the East is definitely tighter than the West, but both of these wild cards still have a lot to be played for. And that'll do it for today's rendition of the 23-minute Sports Report. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Until next time, know God loves you. I pray God bless you. Wash those hands, you filthy animals. Peace out.